Good afternoon, students. Welcome to the subject School Leadership and Management A. This subject, for the following course, those who are doing Bachelor's of Education Honors degree, they are in the first year and they should be in second semester. And also, these subjects offered also to those who are doing course professional degree in senior primary education. They are now in the first semester and in year 4 or fourth year. So this course it's combined. This subject is combined for these two courses, for those who are doing honors degree in education and professional degree in senior primary education. So you have common learning outcomes. Therefore, you should be prepared that you will have the same materials, the same question paper according to the learning outcomes. So simply, let's just discuss how are the assessment procedures first before we proceed. This subject consists of two parts, which means semester mark and examination. So the semester mark or continuous assessment mark is about your assignment, the one you wrote already. So in this assignment, make sure that you qualified for the examination. And the examination consists of about 60%. So here is explained, okay, the CA, which means continuous assessment mark, this is like the assignment. It consists of 40% of the components of the final mark, and also examination, which is 60% of the overall mark. So now, let us say maybe your assignment you got, let's say your assignment in your assignment, maybe you got 80%. Okay? Assignment is about 8%, and let's say in the exam, this is exam. Maybe let's say you got also 8%. So now, which means that the final mark. So the final mark is 40% of the CA plus 6% of the exam, which is equal to 100%. So now, what does this mean? So that, for example, in your assignment, okay, in your assignment you scored 8% because we mark after that we convert the marks into percentage. So let's say this subject consists of like 120 marks. Okay, assignment is 120 marks. So then we have to convert what you get out of 120 into percentage. Okay, let's say if you got 120 out of 120, then you got 100%. So if you got 60 out of 120, then you got 50%. So now, which means that 40% of the 100%. So now let's say you got your assignment is 8%. Okay, 8% that you got. So which means that it will be 8% times 0.4, and then the examination also you got 8%. So which means that you got 80% times 0.6. Okay? So now it will determine what is your overall marks in this one. Okay, 80 times 0.4, this is it will be equal to 32, and 80 times 0.6, it will take you about 48. So now, if we can add this, so it will take you to 80%. So this is your final mark now for this subject, because it consists of continuous assessment, which is equal to 40%, okay, and also exam, which is 60%. So I think that you understand it well. Okay, let me just highlight it in a very simple way so that you can understand. So this subject, you know that you received an assignment, and that assignment got the total mark of is 120 marks. 120 marks. That is an assignment, which means continuous assessment. So now it depends now what you scored in that assignment. So if you scored about 60 out of 120, which means you got 50%. Okay? Which means you got 50%. That is your CA, 50%. Okay? You will enter this in the examination as a 50% for the assignment. Now, you go for the examination. Okay? Examination is also, you will write examination out of 120 marks. So this, out of 120 marks, maybe you got, let's say, just the same example, maybe you got 80%. Let me say you got 60%, which means you got also 50%. Okay, because we got 60 out of 120, which is 50%. So in this one now, we do it like this because the CA is 40% of this and the exam is 6% of this. Okay? So now you will do it like this is a 50%, a 50, and this is 50 also. So which means it will be 50 times 0.4, which is 20, and this is 50 times 0.6, which means 30. So when we add 20 and 30, you got 50. So that is your final mark, which you will receive now in your report or in your NDA mark. Okay, so that is what it means now for this subject. So I think that you all of you received your marks for the assignment. So, and the next thing I want to explain is about time. I know that this is your first time to write this subject because it is for those you do A, then the next semester you will do B. So the time is 2 hours and 30 minutes. 2 hours and 30 minutes. Because this subject is NQF, okay? Namibia qualification framework, it is about 12 credit, okay? So the subject which has 12 credit should be written 2 hours and 30 minutes. So you will sit for exam 2 hours and 30 minutes for this subject. Okay, so let's look at, let's continue for the main topic of our presentation. Okay, simply, let's look at on the following items which we are going to discuss. Simply, I'm going to touch on exam preparation tips and course learning outcomes and example of exam question, or just an example, okay? But this doesn't mean that this question will come in the examination. Just example of how questions might come and how you should answer. So exam preparation, as you know, you are a student at higher learning, and you should know what tactics or what skills you should use for you to succeed in your studies. So in this subject, what you must do is always read the textbook or read the study guides given to you. So it is clearly written there, school leadership and management A. So, and also your course is written there, which which student should do this course. So which means that study guide contains most of the materials, the instructions, the units, introduction to the units, the course learning outcome, there are clear explanation there. So please always read the textbook, and also at the end, there are also some activities in that study guides. So you read and then answer those activities. So the moment you master all those things, so I don't think that you will have a problem in the examination. There are also past question papers on the student portal. So please download those past question papers just to be familiar with yourself, what might come in the examination. Or if you are not able to access the student portal, you can ask the IOL Center anywhere in Namibia. So if you are in Ongwediva, go to that center. So if you are in Rundu, go to that center. They also have some question papers remaining, so you might ask them so they can give you and you can go through. And also, you must also ask your tutor. You can email me, okay, you can give me the email or call me. So there are also numbers on the screen and the email. So ask where you don't understand. Probably, yeah, it's good if you email, and when I answer you, so you can have a backup, because email is good. So whenever you need, you can still look back and see what your tutor has said. And also, you must leave plenty of time to revise. So studying is for exam, start studying now. Not like 1 week left, then you start and all that. And so I have experienced that many students now used to ask so it's like tomorrow is exam, or for example, this is a weekend, and on Monday is exam. Now, most of them, they call now this weekend. All of them call at the same time. That doesn't work like that, because they know that they didn't start studying at time. So those who always start working on time, so they don't have problem. Please start studying now, not later. So, and those are most of the advice, exam preparation. Like, what does it mean now? Like, if you have exam on Monday, okay, next week Monday, and you never even touch your book, what might happen now? Too much material plus too little time is what? Anxiety. So you will end up confusing yourself, because your brain cannot occupy or hold a lot of information with little time. Okay, please start now reading this time. Okay, so this is about 12 credit. So you can subject. So if you take just a month or in 2 weeks, you can finish reading this study guide. So it's not big study guide. So read it and also go through, revise all the materials. Then you will score good marks in the examination. So now, the next thing I want to tell you is focus on course learning outcomes. So this subject has got a content, and this content depends on where you should concentrate. So there are some main important parts that you have to concentrate. So now in this subject, it has how many units? 10 units. So I just listed the unit here, which means you have to read all the units. Unit 1 up to unit 10. So if I can just scroll through quickly, you see, the other up to 10 units, unit 1 up to unit 10. And these are the topics. So the first one, for example, you learn the cultivation of a culture of learning and teaching. So in this one, you have to read and know what are the culture of learning, how learning should be. For example, a classroom culture. So how will you introduce the culture of learning in your classroom? So everything's there. And also these subjects about school leadership and management. So it equips you, or it gives you information how you should lead the school, how you should lead the community, how you should lead your classroom, and how you should make the environment of learning suitable for the learners and for the teachers and for the community. So this is all about school leadership and management, because when we talk about school leadership and management, the performance of a school does not depend on the environment where it's situated. For example, so if that school is now located in Windhoek, it doesn't mean that it will perform better than the school located in maybe in Katima Mlilo in the bush. That doesn't work like that. All depends on leadership. Even though the school can have all the equipments, all the resources, but if the leadership is poor, that school will not perform. If the teachers don't collaborate, don't agree with the principal, and learners coming to school late, and drugs in school, that school won't perform, even though it has all the resources, and it is in Windhoek. So that school in the bush in Katima Mlilo, where the leadership is perfect, all the learners come to the classroom at the right time. If it's 7 o'clock, everyone is in the classroom. 7 o'clock, all the teachers already in the classroom start teaching. So in the afternoon, if it's a 3 o'clock study time, all the learners already in the classroom, all the teachers present, and the principal also present. And the assessment is given, the test is given, all teaching is going on, and respect in the classroom is fine. So that school in the bush in Katima Mlilo, it will perform better than the school in Windhoek, which has got computers, all the measurement equipments, and the learning environment is poor. So that's what we call now this school leadership and management. So that is Unit 1, and also the characteristics of adult school culture and climate. So that's what we have been talking about, and you will learn about how the characteristic of a school which produce good result, whereby every year the result's good, and that school is famous. So now you learn the characteristic of good schools and also the characteristic of poor schools. They are in this Unit 2. And you go on organizational conflict and how to deal with it. So here, as you are a manager of the school, maybe you are an HOD in that department, or maybe if you are the principal, or this also apply even a teacher. So this now, it will teach you how you should solve problems, how you should approach or handle problems that might arise in the classroom, that might arise in the school environment, that might arise in the community. So here in this chapter, you will learn most of the informations that you need, the knowledge that you need to handle conflicts and manage the school properly, and most of the information that you need to manage your classroom to be so excited that learners are able to listen and learners are able to ask questions without fear. So in this Unit 3, you will learn more. And there are many more other topics to come. So you have just to, I cannot teach the whole study guide now, because this is just about 30 minutes and we don't have time. So for more information, you need to have my email, so you can write me the email where you feel like, because it's also examination is not really just questions from nowhere, no? Examinations based on the study guides, and also examination based on the assignment that you did, but not the same questions. But if that question is from Unit 1, expect that question also will come from a Unit 1. If you had question maybe from Unit 10, expect that in the examination, some questions will also be set from Unit 10. So that's just a guideline for you how you should handle your studies. So, and also go into nature and way to manage change in schools. So how you could change. So here, for example, there are questions like maybe you are appointed as a principal at a school A, and you find that maybe the school learning environment is not good, and learners come late and teachers come late, and some teachers don't want to take responsibility, maybe the extra curriculum like sport, whatever. So how are you going to change the environment? So those part of the such information, you will get it there. And also nature of way of managing stress in schools. Here you will learn that teachers face many stress. Yes, there are stress in schools. Some of you are already in the system, which means on-job training while you are doing this course. Of course, those who are not yet at school, they are off-job training. Yes, I know that you have just to gain this theoretical knowledge. The moment you go to school, you know. So in this chapter, you learn more about how you should manage, and also what causes stress. Okay, for example, maybe learner to teachers ratio. For example, you are alone. Maybe yes, in one class you are teaching 6 students. So that can cause stress, because when you speak, some learners are making noise, or even the space is too little. So all those kind, and also the payment, maybe the salary increment. So maybe you are not being paid according to your qualification, or you are not being paid according to the work that you do. You work more but low salary. So that also causes stressful. And also some of like maybe management at the school. So also those kind of management style is also cause stressful. So those are factors. What factors that cause stress in school, and how you should handle it. So many of the things, those solutions and ideas, you will get it in this chapter. Okay. So and also read all this. So as I said, we don't have time. And we don't have time, so we are ready. And also now, let's just talk about a sample of exam questions. There are samples of exam questions here that might come. For example, so I just leave it to you here to find out. You have to go through in your study guide and exercise and answer these questions. So name and describe the dimension of a positive classroom climate that can promote learning. Okay, so I think that you know which unit is this question coming from. You should find out in which unit is this question coming from. So we talk about classroom management. So what features, how a classroom can be managed in order to promote learning. Okay? Those are just, for example, it's giving maybe a 10 marks or 20 marks. So it depends now how the marks allocation. If it's like name, so which means you name, and then from there you describe. For example, so what I mentioned, maybe, yes, is respect. Or maybe you name, okay, yes, in the class should be respect. How? Okay? Maybe, another one, maybe, for example, in the class should be creativity. So how should creativity be promoted in the classroom, and also to promote learning? Okay, this is just an example. You name, and then you describe or you discuss. And also one of the questions, also, for example, that you need to look at is discuss the characteristic of a school with a poor culture of learning and teaching, with specific reference to the observable features that prove that a school has a poor culture of learning and teaching. Okay? So these are some of the, as we discussed, what are the characteristics that there's no learning at this school. Okay? What are those? And then provide some proof that indicate that this school really got poor teaching and learning. Okay, for example, late coming is one of them. Okay, and also one of, for example, the teachers, there is no collaboration between the school management and the community. So there is no, maybe, lack of communication among teachers, among learners, among parents, some of those. Okay, more information is there in there. You must also find out in which unit is this question coming from. Okay, you discuss it. So actually, those are just a short presentation to you, and I hope that you listen carefully as I started. Is the procedures of assessment for this subject, and it's clearly also stated in your study guides. So the subjects, you will write the examination for 2 hours and 30 minutes, and it consists of 120 marks, and it has 12 credits. And please look at your CA, your continuous assessment, your marks for assignment. Please, if you got low marks, make sure that in the examination you score more. So if your assessment is low and your examination is low marks, for example, if say maybe your assessment, maybe you got, maybe for example, your marks for the assignment, maybe you got 40%, okay? And examination, you got 40%. So that is, you really got 40%, which is not 50%, so you won't make it. To pass this subject, you make sure you obtain 50% or better. So thank you very much for your attention, and there is my email, kahare.lucas@yahoo.com. You can contact me through that email, and we can discuss more. So you are welcome, and I wish you all the best, and I wish you that most of you can, or you will get 80% or above, or mean distinction. I thank you very much.